Hello, a warm welcome. We're looking at this Code 3 Dinky fire engine, which was converted many years ago. If you notice the side, the lockers have been drilled out and squared up and brass rods put in place to represent a roller shutter door, which doesn't open. You might be able to pick out there's three ladders on this appliance, the main ladder in the middle. Then we've got two ladders to the left of it. Now, the parts are white metal made by Steve Flowers, which I got many years ago. The transfers is by Mabex. These number plates are from a electric car, and it's painted in 151 signal red paint, which you can get from any hardware shop. Quite a size tin. There's a siren there on the left, which is from a Corgi truck, I believe. It's had the headlights painted in silver paint. It's got a plastic aerial there. There at the back, you can see light switches transfers. It's got a rear-mounted hose reel, also a added pump on the left. You might be able to pick out there at the top a fire extinguisher, suction pipes on the right, again from Steve Flowers. And the main ladder in the middle is Steve Flowers 555 Dinky fire engine, and there's two ladders to the left of that. The top ladder you can take out, the bottom ladder you can't, because it's a mini ladder. I think it's off a Corgi comma. And there is another Dinky ARF fire engine again, getting ready for super detailing. And it's got the lockers drilled out, slightly bigger brass rods. Just gives it a different look. Of course, these came with a pump escape ladder. And the side delivery, that's the original Dinky one there. That hasn't been, you can see the lockers there, what they should look like. This one has four hose reels. Four hose reels to either side. I like the two flashing lights, where the Dinky Muddy with the fire engine only had one blue flashing light on, but this has got two. As I said, it came with a pump escape. You can just see the super detailed one behind there. There's not much difference in the red paint really, in the colour red. So there's that side, and there's both of the rears, the super detailed one on the left with all the ladders and the spotlights and the water monitor and the little wheels for the portable pump and winch. And on the right there, you can see the original Dinky pump escape. If you notice the original outlet pipe pump on the right and the different one on the left with its extra added pump. But I'm sure they both look great and look great in a model fire engine collection or in your collection. That's the original one again with the pump escape ladder, which they did use. Certain buildings and certain streets, when you have to get them over walls and things, the pump escape ladder wouldn't be very useful, but in old streets where there's no walls, I suppose they would have been great. Anyway, you can pick these up at the swap meets ERF, the made loads, and there's the super detailed one and the original ERF there, getting ready to go to a fire. But they are great models, both great models. And they're solid, these models. They've lasted for years. You can still pick them up. You could convert them into all sorts, I suppose, into breakdown truck if you wanted. But they're great fire engines. And you can imagine them racing through the streets with the lights flashing and the sirens on up. And that is a Dinky, Dinky Airport fire engine. This one, I think, had the flashing light. I think this is based on the Bedford there. You can see there that they have got roller shutters there, which don't open. There's the other side, and there's a water monitor on the top. This one has a bell on, and I think it's smaller, a lot smaller than the ARF and the Merryweather. It's a pity they didn't make this the full size, like the Merryweather and the ARF, but it's a great engine. Again, you can pick these up, and this one came with a ladder instead of the water monitor. But they must have made thousands of these because you can pick them up at the swap meets and just repaint them. And this is a Corgi X milk float converted into a foam carrier. So it's a comma van. It was the milk float version. And again, we've got the roller shutters made with brass rods. The transfers is by Mabex. Got some transfer wipers on there. Got a Steve Flowers light on the top, white metal, and the ladder and the aerial. And again, the number plate is by Scalectric. You get the numbers in the Scalectric cars. When you used to buy Scalectric cars, you used to get the sheet of transfers and the fire, the letters there. They just put them on individual Mabex. Great transfers, Mabex. They've lasted for years. I put some on 40 years ago. Fair enough, they were put away when I've done the models in the box, but the transfers are still as new. And that is the Carrier Bantam again with the brass rods in to represent roller shutter as a foam carrier, ladder on the roof, blue lights, aerial, and I think it's got a number plate on there. It's VGR 555C, which was an original foam carrier in the Tyne and Weir Fire Brigade, I think, based at Grindon Fire Station. So it's took that number plate, which again was just made up of Mabex transfers, and in between the cab and the body, you can just catch a glimpse of a suction pipe stuck down the side there, and it's also got a siren on. So it makes a great old foam carrier, I should say. I'm sure the number is VGR 555C, and I'm sure that was on not a carrier bantam, but I think it was on a Bedford foam carrier. I don't know if anybody's got any pictures of that. That would be quite interesting to see after all these years. And in the background, you can just see the foam carrier on the left and the ERF on the right. Now this has got a ladder stuck on the back, and I think that's the white metal part again by Steve Flowers, and that was off some American Corgi truck which they made years ago, which is just stuck on the back there so they can climb up. And the transfers, the lights again, Mabex on the back, foam carrier on the side there. So that's a quite, and this is a Corgi ice cream van again with the brass rods put in place, ladder on the top, and aerial and blue flashing lights. And this is a water relay unit. Again, you can pick these up quite cheap from the swap meets. Water relay unit, and it's painted in silver grey paint. That dries really quickly. You can pick that paint up cheap. Again, it comes in quite a big tin. Give it a stir around and you put it on, it dries practically straight away. And again, with the Mabex transfers, I'm sure that would look good. In the collection of fire engines, it's different. And there is the BA control. That's again the Corgi ice cream van with Mabex transfers on BA control, breathing apparatus control. It's got 4 aerials on the top, a ladder and 2 flashing lights. And it's the BA, the breathing apparatus control vehicle. That's why it has the 4 aerials on the top. It would carry breathing gear inside, I suppose, and control boards, BAT, breathing apparatus tender there. Again, Mabex transfers, and that looks quite good there. You can imagine that driving down the street with the lights flashing and the sirens going. An old machine, but some of these specialist machines lasted for quite a few years in the brigade. Some of them did last a few years because I suppose they didn't get used that much really, or did they? But they were in great condition. I don't know. This is a real fire appliance, but I'm not sure if they actually did do a. I'm sure this is a carrier, isn't it? The carrier ice cream van. And there you can see the two of them together, and in the middle you can see a spotlight and on the dashboard there, and the water relay unit. And behind that is the Dinky ERF. I mean, they're not to scale, but it doesn't matter as long as you've got great models and you enjoy your models. That's the main thing. And just something to do when you've sitting down watching the telly, or there's not much on the telly, just get your models out. And this one is the Dinky. No, it's not. This one is the Matchbox emergency tender. So we leave it then. We look at that in part two. It was a car transporter, and it's a Matchbox emergency tender.